Have you ever wanted to get to know casting directors? We're going to let you know the how, why, where, when of it.
Speechless. Speechless.
Are we on? We're on. Yes.
Well, hi,
Here we go.
everyone. Welcome to another episode of Speechless. Today is about relationship building.
My favorite.
Right? Why would building a relationship or any relationships or plenty of relationships be important as voiceover freelancers? Well,
How
we're
about just in
going to break
life?
down. Well, and in life, right?
Right?
I think so much of life is reflected back in voiceover and vice versa. There's so many important things in our business that we need to be good
Yeah.
at and
Have
good
you
at
heard?
in life as well.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Harvard Happiness Project?
Yes, I
It's
have.
yeah, where it's
Let's
gone
share.
on for decades and decades and decades.
Hmm.
And the number one thing they found that why people live longer, something like my stats could be wrong, like 10 years longer, let's just pretend the stat is right,
Hmm.
is community. Those people
Yes.
who were involved in community when they were older, in their elderly years, those
Hmm.
are the people that it wasn't like diet and all that, of course, that
Hmm.
helps, but it was
Hmm.
the people in community.
I so believe that. It's
Me
so
too.
important. Yeah.
I totally agree.
But we went against the grain a little bit, Kim. You and I,
Yeah,
for
we did.
the first big chunk of our businesses, we did not participate in the voiceover
Wah,
community.
wah, wah.
I mean, I have a good excuse, I think. My excuse was I
Your
couldn't afford to
business.
go to all the conferences. I was living in Canada. Actually, I was living in Canada and the Caribbean and then back in Canada. And I couldn't afford to travel to those conferences.
Are you gonna ask me
Um,
my excuse?
I am. Well, yeah, what is it?
Well, you don't know what you don't know. I did not
Yeah.
know. I mean, I guess ignorance, naivete. I just didn't. I stayed in the Boston area, and I didn't know that there was this great big outer voiceover community that I could be involved in. And boy, you don't know what you don't know, but you start where you are. You
Yeah.
know,
I
you start
also
where you
didn't
are. You go.
I also didn't feel like it would be a benefit to my business for
Well, I
a
think a
little.
lot of people think that, and this is why we're talking about it.
Well, also our very first episode of our very first show of Speechless was about why mingle with your competition. So it
Way
was,
back when we were youngsters.
yeah, it was exactly about the whole idea of mingling with the community. But
Your
in terms of
competition, yeah.
relationship building, it's even bigger than our community. It is, in fact, I'm going to go over the points and then we'll delve in.
Okay.
There is getting to know the people that you work with.
Yeah.
Hello. Uh,
Mhm.
and building those client relationships for the long term, super important for the present. You know, what are you doing in the session? And are you building a relationship with that team? And then in the future, are you building a relationship with those clients in order to have a long-lasting relationship? There's
Keeping up
also
with the relationship, that's what I would call keeping up.
keeping up with the
Keeping up with the
relationship.
clients, keeping up with the
Well,
Kardashians, keeping up with the
building it,
clients.
building it too, and
Yeah,
strengthening it.
yeah.
Also the community and knowing your peers, but creating a support network for yourself, both for, well, not just both. So for so many reasons, for the craft, for the technical, answering questions, but also for the emotional and mental support that you receive from other people that are going through the same thing as you. So you have
Mm.
clients and you have peers, but then you also have potential clients. I mean, it's huge. Relationship building is huge as
Mhm.
freelancers or
Then you've got
other.
your vendors, yeah.
Yeah. So let's delve in a little bit, shall we?
Yeah, but
And
first,
yeah. Oh, yeah. First.
drinks.
First.
I mean, let's get serious, can we
What
please?
did you bring? What did you bring?
So I made this one up. I ran out of recipes. Actually, I didn't run out of recipes. I just didn't feel like
The
looking
internet
something
ended.
up. The internet ended, and I was faced alone with my fears. So what I got
Ooh, I
was this
love
Pellegrino
it.
Melegrano e Arancia. I hope I said that right. I'm Italian, but I don't even know if I said that right.
Arancia, does it mean orange?
Yes, orange, and I think it looks like a pomegranate in the picture, but I didn't know melograno. Well, I guess grano little, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Mhm,
Yeah. So I think it's pomegranate and
mhm.
orange. It's delicious with some
Yum.
extra seltzer and a touch of vodka and
Oh,
lemon juice. Well, I had
yum.
to make it a cocktail. I have to say it is really, really good. It is
Yum.
refreshing. I have the balance is perfect. So
Uh,
I highly recommend it.
nice. Well, and
Summary.
I made a faux latte. 3 ounces of delicious coffee with a half a cup of milk and some cinnamon,
I
because
thought you were
that's
going to say a half a cup of
cream.
Kahlua.
No, mm,
Yum.
not
Cheers.
today. Cheers. Yum.
Mm.
All right, so let's get back to talking about us, shall we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think about me?
We have lived in different phases of our, in terms of relationship building, there's the pre-conference era, there's
Yeah.
the during the conference era, and then there's today. Reasons,
What
where
do you
we
mean
are with our, yeah.
business? What do you mean pre-conference? What are you talking
Well,
about?
that's what we talked about in the beginning, how,
Oh, before
what
we
did
knew
you
about
do?
okay,
What
before
what
we
did
knew
you
about
do?
conferences.
Well, yeah, so,
Okay.
or went to them. What I did for relationship building was relied on strengthening my client list. Because after 19 years in business, I've been in business around 19 years, I still have some of the same clients that I had in the very beginning.
That's
That's
excellent
how
relationship building
important, right? I knew it was so important.
and good business acumen,
Yeah.
I have to
Well,
say,
thank you.
right?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So tell me, in terms of pre-conference area, were you doing relationship building despite not going to conferences?
Okay, at first, again, I didn't know much.
But you
I
had to build something in order to have a business. So what
Right,
were
so it was my vendors, so I would like
okay.
my engineers, the
Ah,
studios that were
ah,
around. It was back in the day when you auditioned in person, were in the
ah.
waiting rooms with the other talent. So, we would chat and, I
And you
got to
still
know
have
s
those
I
relationships.
still have those
Yeah,
relationships,
and you
yeah.
still go to the studio.
Yes, so we don't have to audition anymore in person, which was nerve-wracking, you
Yeah.
sweat it out, you have that talk in the bathroom with yourself. "Oh, I am strong, I am confident, I will nail this audition." Put the crystals in your bra, you're good. And then, it's hard, you get 2 shots when you're in there. Go, go. They don't,
Oh, I'm thinking
you
like
don't no, 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 no.
shots
You
of
you get
tequila. No,
no,
you
no.
get 2 shots to go.
Yeah,
Okay,
to
got it.
read, and, you mess up those, and they
It
want you
might
to read
help
it
if you had
straight
2 shots
through.
of tequila. Okay.
I don't think so. So that
Isn't
was
that,
one way
yeah.
that I made
Did you build relationships with the people in the audition waiting room? Did you build
yes,
friendships?
yeah, yeah, I
Did you?
did, and I still have
Out of
friends
Because you had to or because you wanted to?
because I wanted to.
Well, that's good.
I felt lonely, in the beginning, and
Mm.
that you could
And
I didn't know that I was allowed to audition for things cross states. I just didn't think about it. I didn't know what I didn't know.
okay.
Um,
Hmm.
and that's embarrassing to say, but I was kinda like,
No, you were
head
building a business in a certain way.
I
That's
just
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't know, so and, for a while, I got into acting, and I took some time off from the voiceover community, and I got into the acting world, and
Hmm.
that's where I built a lot of relationships with producers and directors and casting agents, and, that was a whole 'nother set of community within the
Yep.
same entertainment circle, and
Yep.
then once I had finished the training and I did Meisner training and all that and did a few films. Then I independent films people, not major films. And
I know
then
everyone was wondering.
yes, no. I came back and I went back to voice talent and voiceover performing and because that was my love.
Hmm.
That was my love. Yeah.
Actually, the reason I'm not on Broadway
Yeah,
The,
because
the
you're a singer.
because I did not want to do the audition situation. I didn't realize, and this is going to be a segue. It will be a segue.
All right.
I didn't
It's all right.
realize that you had to keep show. I mean, I'm not on in Broadway or musical theater because the whole audition thing scared the hell out of me.
I
I could
know.
not, ugh.
You didn't have those conversations in the bathroom
I
before you
did.
went in?
I was too afraid to even, yeah.
That's hard.
But what I learned doing a few auditions actually as a dancer and a singer was that the casting people get to know you.
Mhm.
So you have to repeatedly show up. So you don't just show up, obviously, and get a job. But I thought it was a little more random than it is. It ain't random. Like you had to keep showing up, and these people will get to know you. And then once they got to know you, oh, they are solid as maybe people in the industry or at least auditioners. They're doing classes all the
Talented.
time.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
really funny. I see them here. They're personable. They're easy
Yeah.
to work with. Those are
Yeah.
all important things that I think translate over.
Yeah. And
Are you
that
easy to
is
work with? Yeah.
true in the world of voiceover in big time LA. In LA,
New
if you
York.
get to know the casting directors, that goes a long way. We're going to talk about that near the end of the show, though, because I want to talk about
Oh,
why do
yeah.
you think going to conferences, what changed in your life once
Mm.
you started meeting people at conferences and
Oh my
otherwise?
God. So much changed. Oh my gosh. I'm, first of all, on a peer level, my relationships broadened and deepened. Whether
Mm.
you meet a
Hmm.
ton of people and you're like, oh, some people are like, I can handle like 3 people at a time. I can handle a bajillion at a time, and I love it. Um, and so that for me was amazing because it was cross country. And then we started sharing each other's journeys and getting online with each other and meeting each other after the conference on
Yeah,
um, Zooms and Skypes and all the things, and that to me was so, so helpful and nourishing, and everyone, sometimes you feel like you're going through these hard spells by yourself or not booking or whatever it happens to be, and then everyone else is having the same thing, or at least one other person is, and so
yeah,
it's really supportive that way. I found, like, a
yeah,
support group. That was one way it changed. What about you?
yeah. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll
Oh,
come
okay.
back and I'll tell you
Oh, I
the
can't wait.
answers. Okay,
Mm.
bye. Okay, popping in here real quick for our speechless promo. Talk about our sponsors. We are in
Thank
season
you.
4 now.
Can you
What?
believe that?
Yes, I
Season
know.
4?
Crazy.
I
So
know.
we have 3 sponsors for this show is the
Wonderful.
Vorg, the voiceover resource guide. You'll
Look at
see I
that.
have copies here. You can also see them on voiceoverresourceguide.com. But if you can get a copy in your hands, who doesn't like to have, paper in their
I
hands?
think they're at most studios in LA. I mean, they're all
For
over.
sure. They're all over LA, but they're also everywhere. This used to originate only in LA, and now they're in Chicago, New York, etc. So all kinds of
Amazing.
resources there.
Also, the voiceover extra. Don't be extra unless you're voiceover extra. Thank you very much. Thank
It's
you. Just
also a great resource for webinars and lists of lists and blogs and all kinds of things to do. Do check them out at voiceoverextra.com.
and George
Uh,
the Tech. Hey, you guys need help with your tech? Hire George the Tech. He's the
yeah,
go-to guy we recommend. So, not just because he sponsors our show, by the way, because we really actually know him, but George the Tech. He's a great guy.
whatever platform you're listening on, all the links are below, so you can check that out. A couple more things we want to tell you about. We have an event coming to
Oh,
Burbank that you can see on Zoom as an audit or come to live. It's a casting director workshop. Four
hello.
different voiceover casting directors, 3 workshops. Food is included,
And
wine is
wine. Hello.
included, coffee drinks are included. Like it's going to be an amazing party in Burbank at the Urban Press Winery. Do check out our website at speechlessvo.com for all the details. And if you can't make it, do think about doing the Zoom audit because it'll be a wealth of information. And we have our membership opportunity, which is a fabulous
Oh
group
my
of
gosh.
people. We
My
call it
heart.
our Speechless Secret Society.
Because you're not
Um,
supposed to talk about it.
But it's a group that meets once a month and we share our wins, our challenges, and ask for advice from each other, support each other, and there's also educational
It's
opportunities.
a support group that's off of Facebook. Thank
It's
the good
not on Facebook. Yeah. So
mouse.
speechlessvo.com. Check out everything we've got going on, and we'll see you later. Okay, so we are back. And what did I gain from going to conferences
Yeah.
and whatnot? Yeah. Uh, best friends, for one thing.
Oh,
Best friends. That I would not have met otherwise. When you see people face to face, it's different, isn't it? I always say
yeah.
in voiceover, when you meet them once, the introduction is wonderful, and then you see them a second time, you're hugging already
Yeah.
in voiceover, right? You're already
Mhm.
hugging them.
Mhm.
We
Or
have an
yeah.
understanding of each other, right? An
I
understanding
think
of
so.
each other's lifestyle and
I
stuff.
think this community, and everyone says it over and over, so sorry everyone if you've already heard this a million times. It is the nicest, that's such an overused word. It is the most welcoming and supportive community in the entertainment industry.
Sure,
You
it's
know,
very different, very
up to a
different.
point, but we all look out for each other and want the best for each other. And
So if it's a
for the most part.
conference, yeah, for the most part. So if it's a conference, we also get to meet coaches, and
Mm,
casting people and
at the
help with tech
conferences,
and
right.
yeah. So it's a
And in
great
workshops.
opportunity to meet. Yeah. It's great to meet in person, but it's also cool to do work-in-ours and meet and get to see coaches and casting directors do their thing on work-in-ours because or webinars because then you can get a sense of who they are and what they're like and whether you vibe with them, as we've said in another episode, right?
You mean like in coaches? For coaches, if you wanna
Yeah.
coach with them? Yeah, for sure,
Yeah. Well,
for
even and
sure.
agents and casting directors, because one of the things that are important about knowing casting directors is what do they like? We talked about that with Terry Burland. Like, are they
Oh, yeah.
specific about what they like in terms of
And
auditions?
they are. Every
And they
audition you
are.
do, you have to think, "Who is casting?" if you're lucky enough to know, and
Yeah.
what are they looking for?
Yeah.
Some casting directors like your most edgy, take first, and some want, "No, no, just give me the standard one first, and then
Hmm.
go edgy second." And
Hmm.
some people like the lead-ins. Terry Berlin hates the lead-ins. It's so
It's
important
specific. Hmm.
and specific.
Let's
The
just
other thing sorry, I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say the other thing I like about working with casting agents in their workshops
Hmm.
is they get to see my face,
Yeah.
and they put my face to my name and my personality, so when my audition goes across their desk, that is a second point of contact where they're human, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna recognize my name, they're gonna recognize my face.
Yeah.
I try to
That's
do
helpful.
that. It
Let's
is
just
really
veer
helpful.
horizontally for a second and talk about social media and relationship building and
Okay.
how important it is or
Well, tell
important or
me
not
what you
important.
mean, because 'cause I'm not sure what you mean, like
Okay.
Instagram?
Well, everything. So, first of all, I believe that social media is for three things. It's for branding yourself. It's an
Yes,
extension of your
I
website.
agree.
It's for research. So if you want to research people, no matter if whatever kind of job they're working, you can look them up on look people up on different platforms and see
And
what
they
they
can look
do,
up you.
and
They
they
can
can
look up you.
look you up. Mhm. Um, and relationship building. Now, in the world of social media where people are saying, "Oh, it's so great. You can build relationships." So on any platform, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or otherwise, have conversations with people and build a relationship. Honestly, I haven't found that was worked for me.
Oh, I'm
You?
so glad you said that because I didn't know where you were going with this. I'm like, no. In fact, I feel like Instagram, this is just me, is
Mhm.
a place to give you a sense of your personality.
Yeah,
You know,
which is
you
your
said
branding.
branding, I guess branding, but also, like, other things that make you a whole person. So I put, like, a lot of gardening pictures. I put my cats, sorry, and
Do you have deep discussions with people about anything?
no, but they
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
They love it. My fans love it. No, I mean, people love seeing cats, people love seeing gardens. I'm gonna start putting my artwork up there, like, I'm just gonna
So,
do the
but
whole
What about LinkedIn? Do you feel like that's a place that you've built relationships or strengthened relationships?
I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn that I've built out as relationships. I have.
So you had like long discussion
Conversations, not
conversation.
long discussions. We're talking, direct messaging. How are you? Great. Thanks for you. Bada bee, bada boo, bada bee. How you doing? Dee dee dee. You know, um,
Okay.
sporadically. Not a lot
Okay. Okay.
because nobody's got time for that.
Yeah.
On social media, they want to scroll through. They want to see what they want to see. They want to connect with people, and they're done. I
Yeah,
think
I'm kind of like get in,
a
get out,
fine
get on with
line.
your day kind of.
Yeah, it's a fine
Yeah.
line.
I don't know. Relationship building and social media to me, I don't really buy it.
What about Facebook? What's your thoughts on Facebook?
Yeah, that's a bit different, isn't it? I
I don't
cannot
know because
say,
I'm never on Facebook.
oh,
I think my posts automatically go there from Insta, so it looks like I'm on it, but I'm
uh,
never on it.
I don't think they do, Kim. I haven't seen you on
Oh,
Facebook at all.
like I said, I'm not on it.
Um, it's interesting. I think I haven't necessarily, if I have Facebook friends, quote unquote Facebook friends who you've never met before, but you've become friends on Facebook, I can't say I have conversations with these new friends. However, whatever I'm posting, whether it's in a group or responding to posts, I think that helps build your image as who you are. Like, is that relationship building?
I
Is
don't
them,
know.
yeah, I don't know either.
I don't 'Cause it can be it's a fine line between being annoying and, like, talking about yourself and
Annoying.
sharing.
Okay, well,
Like,
I'm
"Look
not
at
going down
me.
that.
I did this. Look at me. I did that." Like,
I'm not
I
really talking in those terms. I'm just talking about, you're sharing your family and you're sharing a little bit of this and that. Are
mm,
people really getting to know you? I think a
they are
little,
if you're a bragger.
not just braggers, Kim. It's not just, it's funny because I find Instagram
Oh,
so narcissistic and Facebook is not narcissistic.
no way. I don't think so.
Facebook is more about, well, maybe I'm thinking about other platforms. I don't know, but Facebook isn't about look at me, look at me, look at me. Instagram is.
I don't know.
Because
I have to
Facebook, you can share other people's stuff. Instagram, you can't. It's all about you. You.
it depends how you use it, but I don't know. I don't know. This is so hard.
Depends on
Okay, what
how
do you
you
think
use
about
a
TikTok?
platform.
What about
Mm.
TikTok? God, I love
I don't
TikTok.
know. I,
I
I,
don't I'm
I'm
not
not,
on
I
there.
don't,
I mean, I love to look, but
yeah, I
I don't
can't speak to TikTok because I find it an addiction and I was on it for an hour and I was like, that hour went by in 1 minute. This is not good for me.
I
I
know,
can't.
they're so good at reeling you in, aren't they?
Yeah, and I was crying and like, yeah,
Oh my
like
god, I love it
the
so
videos
much.
making me cry. Anyway, back to
Those cat videos, though,
feeling a bit
hello?
stressed out about this whole social media thing. So let's not talk about that. Let's go back
I'd like to know
to,
what other people think about social media.
yeah, comment in the comments if you
Please.
feel. Um, so today, social media, not social media, relationship building today, I can speak for myself and say that I make sure I'm in the know about players in the industry, whether that's talent or casting or coaches, just as many people as I can so I can take a cue from, what are they teaching or where are people learning and what are they learning? What are they doing? What are they not doing? And also, I take my lists of contacts very seriously, and they are precious. So, in order to nurture relationships and not share too much, not to share too little, meaning contact them just enough, you
Right.
know? You don't want to overdo it and you don't want to underdo it. You have this great list. And that list is either, I'm talking about email lists, but also our contacts. You don't want to overdo it.
Mm-mm.
And then if you underdo it, nobody knows who you are. So there's a balance in relationship building,
It's
isn't there?
hard. That's a hard
Yeah.
thing. Well, yeah, that's hard. But for today, um, I agree with you. I've do everything
Good.
that you did. What she said, people, what she said.
Well, let's just circle back around to getting to know casting directors and
Oh
well,
my
another
gosh.
talent. Kim and I
Tell
have
them your
this.
story. Tell them your story
Oh,
about
yeah. So, well, I'm not going to name the casting directors,
no.
but it was once I got to know um, some of them, and I put in an audition recently, and I booked the job. And I said, "Oh, what a coincidence! Like I just met, not I just met, but I met you more in depth. We had a discussion, and here I booked a job." And they said, well, it wasn't a coincidence. There's a reason you book the job. It's because once they get to know people and they know they can trust and they know the quality of the person, they're more likely to put people up for the job. So that was a
That
big,
is put a period on the end of that sentence.
put a
That is
pin in that.
so
Yeah. Hmm.
important to know. Get to know your casting directors.
Yeah.
They need to know. Andy Roth said it best. He's a casting director. It's
Yeah.
not who you know, it's who
Who
knows
knows
you.
you? Right.
Thank you, Andy Roth.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy Roth.
So,
So, in that vein, Kim and I
yeah,
have organized our first event ever. It is in Burbank at this amazing restaurant, Urban Press Winery. That said, it is 3 workshops in one day with 4 casting directors. Um, and if you're not in Burbank or if you're not able to get to Burbank, which, by the way, Kim, as we continue on with our journey, there are several coming to it. She
out of
hasn't
state?
seen the list from out of state, from like
Wow,
out
you
of state.
guys, that's
Yep.
amazing.
We do have an opportunity for you to purchase the Zoom version, the Zoom audit version. So why would you do that? So it's one thing for the casting directors to see you, to get to have you read for them, to get to know them, and them to get to know you and be seen. But it's also important if you're just in the beginning of meeting someone, um,
Get to
to
know their
watch them
style.
on webinars. Yeah. So we have a Zoom audit version where you can see how they work with students and learn about what, their
How to
vibe and
submit
what they're
your
teaching.
audition according to what they put out. That
Yeah.
is
So they're
so
going to be
key.
teaching for half an hour each and then working with students for the remaining hour that they are on.
And you get to see the
And
whole thing, the students
yeah,
and the educational thing, if you Zoom it, yeah. Or if
yeah,
you're
if you
in
do the
person,
Zoom
you can
audit.
sip your wine and watch.
Yeah. So Kim and I are trying to create as many resources as we can for you. And one of them is our event on August 3rd, 2024, where you can get to know the casting directors, listen to how they work, and potentially work with them as well.
That's amazing.
So thanks for watching, and we will see you again. Cheers.
Cheers!
This episode of Speechless is brought to you by
Hey, did you know that the very first newsletter in our industry still exists today?
I did. It's called Voiceover Extra.
Mhm. It's got daily announcements, it's got career building advice, it's got products, opportunities.
Tons of articles, tons of
Yes.
webinars to purchase.
Yes, and we're going to be extra, so extra, and tell you to sign up for VoiceOver Extra. Tell them how.
You go to voiceoverextra.com. That's voiceoverextra.com.
Hey, is tech holding you back?
Let George the Tech take your studio to the next level.
That's right. All you have to do is schedule a quick consultation, get back on track.
George has brought together top-notch technicians to assist you via an emergency contact line.
Which is my favorite
Totally.
thing ever. Hey, you can benefit from webinars, training modules, recording, editing, studio setup, and troubleshooting.
Level
Level
up
up.
with George the Tech today. The VoiceOver Resource Guide. What is the VoiceOver Resource Guide?
It's an incredible networking tool. Not only that, but it's also the industry's oldest publication since, drumroll please, 1988.
Sounded like a cat. The publication comes out twice a year and now covers LA and New York and Chicago.
And there's also a free online version called thevorg.net.
Right. Here you can find recording studios, casting services, agents, rates, demo production, events, and so much more, and has the most up-to-date map search.
That's pretty cool. You can pick up your very own publication in various locations across the United States, or just go to thevorg.net and get one shipped right to you.
Speechless. Speechless.